Hello everyone, I want to welcome you to another round of my YouTube channel. This is Steve coming back with another video. This video is basically kind of a story of where not more like of where I came from, but what brought me to where I am now, I like to say in a lot of ways, and why I pushed myself as far as I did. I'm not going to go into another whole Commodore 64 story, but this story I hopefully is about not me, but is about you. It's about dreams, about believing in something in yourself that even if other people say it was never there from the beginning, somehow you don't want to believe that. You just want to keep pushing forward. And I still believe the same thing with this channel, even though a lot of people may say, the C64 is old technology and this is just probably long forgotten. I've had somebody, say the word extinct. I'm sorry, guys. I really believe in this more than I believed in a lot of things my entire life. I mean, I would not have committed myself all the way through college had I not been so convinced of these defining moments and just these changes going forward. So if you're in that position too and you have a dream or whatever, I just encourage you to follow it through with your heart and really just try to put forward your best efforts. Now, honestly, from my perspective, I've never been a very bright child. I graduated from high school with a 2.4, so I've never been where I've ever really wanted to be. I've seen people go much farther than me. And beyond all that, my only dream, my only destination, if it were possible in this world, would be to see this channel become something more than it is now. And nothing to do with myself. It's more about bringing people together for the Commodore 64 and just bringing together a group of people that would love building a project into something that would be so great for people. I mean, there's a lot of games, there's a lot of fun out there, but imagine it's something we could just change it. We could send a message out or something like that. I think something like that would be amazing. So this is kind of what inspired my original quest into, I use that word quest, and I'll tell you why in a minute, into the Commodore 64 and why I believed in so many things and why I've decided to start this channel back in 2009 and been so convinced of it. Even though sometimes in my life I've kind of sprung off to the side here and there. I mean, in a lot of ways, I owe a lot of credit to number one, I'm going to say to God. I would not rule it out. But above all, I just want to thank you guys for your support and everything. And I've seen myself travel in many different directions in life, and I could go on and rambling. But really, this is all about a dream and believing in something. Now, the Commodore 64, to me, it's just changed my entire life. I can say that for many reasons because, like I said, it's pushed me forward in directions I've never known. I've seen myself move to projects I never thought I would, go toward, and just it's helped me develop myself as a person, I'd like to say. So, anyways, I wanted to share this story with you, and I guess some of you may have wondered about it. I posted a video on the channel not too long ago. Well, I guess it's been a while, but anyways, this is my Commodore 64 story and why I went as far as I did, why I tried to, build games as fast as I could. And even though I never finished the project, that game I was building, the Space Quest, was really a destination to finish it. But of course, it fell short because of a submission I never got put out there. But there was one success I had in this journey, and that was with this software disk right here. And you can see this is a software title that was published by Lodestar. I believe it was around 1995. It was almost toward the end of the times, and I don't know this camera right there, Quest for the Mad Bomber. So I wanted to show you that. As proof of this also, I've never showed this before, and I don't like to do things like this because I don't like to be boastful. I'm not a very boastful person. I'm actually a very humble person, so I don't really like attention to myself. But at the same time, I felt this is all part of the Commodore 64 journey. This is all about sharing why you believe in things and why you think, you could go somewhere. I was, when I was working on this submission all the way back in 1994 or such, at that time, I really didn't know a whole lot about the Commodore 64. I had just come away from the Atari computer. But at that time, I was really pushing myself to learn a lot of things in BASIC I'd never even tried before. And like I mentioned before in the video, the thing that really scared me away from the Commodore 64 when I first came toward it was the fact that there was graphic capabilities I couldn't grasp because I was so used to the simple graphic routines that were common on the Atari home computers and stuff like that. So eventually I decided that I wanted to learn more. I wanted to push myself and just see what I could. So I started implementing, and I came across some simple adventures and started trying other text adventures, and I really fell in love with the Infocom series, which became very popular on the original Atari computers back in the days, and it spread from computer to computer. Maybe sometime I'll show an Infocom. I have a software title out there, but a Zork, I was inspired by Zork, and just many things like that that really push the barriers of learning capabilities. Now, text adventures are a little bit different because what they do is allow you to type in, two-word commands like get box or look at this or, take that. And basically, it's kind of like creating your own world. But I knew that there was a lot of text adventures out there already. So what I really wanted to do was create my own world and just kind of stick myself inside of it for a moment and imagine myself as if I were there. And in a lot of ways, guys, computers were escape for me. Now, in high school, for example, I was a very shy person. I was actually not, I would say I wasn't liked by my peers, but I was very introverted and I didn't know how to communicate to people. In a lot of ways, I felt like the computer was my escape from that. I could go in there and I could create things that were bigger than I was, or at least I thought I could. And that's what really kept me and pushed me further and further. And I only hope to go further with your guys' help, of course, and just, seeing where this journey goes. I could sit there and ramble on about it. But anyways, I wanted to share this journey with you and where it all came from. Like I said, it started with that. And for the first time, I'm going to show you this. Hi, guys. So I'm just recutting this part so I can edit out the address. I wanted to show you the letter completely. Originally, I put like a picture on it. I didn't think that would be fair. Just kind of just throwing a picture on it. Just figured I'd just black out the address and I could show you the full letter there. I'll put it on YouTube. You can kind of see it a little bit here. And I was paid $350 for the game I'm going to be showing you, which is Quest for the Mad Bomber. So I really had to prod them back then, and I had to try to convince them that this was worth publication. And originally, Lodestar was actually paying $500 for submissions, but eventually because of budgets, they had to cut back. And well, I got $350 in those days. That was pretty good, since in that days it would actually take me 2 weeks just to even earn that kind of money. So it's back when I was working in restaurants. So we'll just cut back to the scene here. A little bit with my life. I feel like, probably one of the reasons maybe why I haven't evolved is I've never really been open. I've been afraid a lot of reasons. I was born with a cleft palate, so I was not somebody you want to look at, and just people didn't relate to me. I was made fun of most of my life. But computers were escape for me, and building this game and this text adventure was something to change my life for me in a lot of ways. It really helped me not only set the standard of, trying to come out and trying to prove that maybe I could build something too, but also that I wanted to share some of the graphics and art. I love art. You've probably seen it already. That I wanted to try to put that all into one game. So anyways, that's the letter. So I'm going to show you the game now. Maybe we'll take apart some things on it, but I really want you to believe in your dreams. That's what this whole vision's about. Okay, so here's the Lodestar. It is a 136. This is just basically on the Lodestar Complete, which is a CD that you can load, that I had bought from Lodestar about a year ago, that contains all of the Lodestar disc magazine subscriptions that they published. So, including, I think, some for the Commodore 128, and just a great software kit. So anyways, this is the solution or whatever. If you wanted to see this, I could show this to you. Like he said, Jeff calls it the WIMP file. I didn't want people to know how to solve the game. I always felt like, because myself, I was really never really a person that could really solve a lot of problems. I wanted to try to learn to create something where people could learn to build and solve their own problems. Like I said, since I wasn't a great problem solver myself. So let's see if this thing loads. I'm going to pause there a second. Okay, so I got it back here. So here we go. This is just the little storyline I put into the actual game itself. I'll kind of go through it if you want to see it here. Okay, so what I did is I actually put the solution on one screen, and I have the game running here on the other screen. You can see this is from the Lodestar disc, Quest for the Mad Bomber. I originally wanted to create a much better title screen, and I did. I created an animated title screen with the words, the giant text, moving backward and forward. But eventually it wasn't enough. Lodestar couldn't fit it all into the disc. And I also created a demo for it. I won't be able to show this because it's still on my computer. Maybe one day I will show that to you. It wasn't the greatest demo. It was just a city animation. But anyways, let's get this started. So here's the introduction screen after you go through the introduction. This is kind of like the options menu. And you can go through and you can select like the credits, for example. I put, anytime I took something from a book, I always try to give credit to that book where I found the option since I didn't really know anything about writing my own sound or even music in those days. And then 5 takes you back to load store, so I won't click on that. Load is 1 is load, and of course save your game, play the game. So we're going to play the game with number 3. It'll take a moment to initialize. Now, while I'm waiting for this to initialize, just to let you know, this program is pretty massive. When I submitted it to them, it was pretty close to 200 sectors. I'm pretty sure it was. I know, although when I printed this thing out, it actually, because of my printer at that time, it almost took like 45 minutes for my printer just to print it out. And I'll probably show you the code later. I just wanted to show you. Also, this, no offense to Vice, but Vice does not give credit to the graphics that you can really see on the Commodore 64. So you're looking and you see these kind of split, but on the Commodore 64, these are all very fine graphics. So maybe one day I'll show you that later. But for now, it's got like a little city animation at the bottom. Now the screen that's loading here, you see, this is all done by a semi-language. So it's basically drawing all these lines in the semi-language very quickly. So you didn't have to sit there and wait for the screen every single time it loaded. I wanted to kind of make it a little bit fast. And anyway, because it does refresh the screen here and there. Also, if you know anything about the Commodore 64, you see me typing in here. Commodore 64 has an input command built into it. This command has no input command at all. I wanted to remove that because if you use an input command and you hit enter, it's going to break out of the code. And I know you could basically stop it and turn off the break key and stuff like that where it wouldn't do that. But I wanted it to be kind of original when I submitted it. So I created my own parser. Basically allows me to sit there and type in text, and it just reads and scans the keyboard as I'm typing in these letters, and it's able to communicate those through parameters directly inside of code. But that's a little bit more complicated. But also there's commands like inventory. If you type in INV, it's a little simple inventory list I created. And we'll get kind of started with it here. So you're in this police station right now. You're armed with no weapons. You have no objects or anything. You're staring in a police garage. You can see a squad cars over there, and you see a button on the wall. So the button's probably got your curiosity already. Anyways, we're not going to touch the button yet. We're going to press north, and for north, you can just type in, and you don't want to sit there and type north or something like that, because it'll just basically won't understand what you're saying. So just one letter combinations, and I saw this in an original Atari text adventure, which is even the screen layout, everything, I kind of copied that too because I liked the way it looked. So you can see the first graphical picture there for the sprite. These are actually sprites. So basically a little special watch, isn't that kind of funny name, pops up on the screen. It's supposed to be some kind of like a super watch or James Bond kind of watch. But anyways, you go and you just look at the watch. Well, you got to pick it up. So you just basically can say take watch. Oh, actually it's get. I'm sorry. Take was the original commands. So, and actually it's not watch. Actually my fault. It's reading the first part of the characters. I didn't need to read the second. I should have probably done it, but I never did. So you take special, and then I'll pick it up. Special watch. Okay. Now we're going to go west into the office. So we're in the headquarters. Large desks, file cabinets. Imagine you're in the headquarters. Will probably be a lot more than just sets. Basically, I should have probably said in a small office, but you know. Okay, so anyways, and once you're in this room, you try to look at stuff. And that's the whole purpose of text adventures. And you look at the desk and you see it has a green drawer in it. Maybe the word green is important here. So most people would probably do something like this. It's tightly locked shut. So we can't seem to get to the desk. Now we have some file cabinets here. Let's see if we can go and kind of look at the cabinets. You can type it all out if you want to. It accepts the whole thing either way. But it's saying I don't understand, which means a command that's not actually built in. So in that case, even if you looked at it or whatever, I didn't make anything for the file cabinet. So I wanted to leave that as a mystery. So the solution is you move the desk. Oops. I'm sorry about that. I forgot how loud the sounds were in here. Anyways, you probably won't hear the sounds all the time. So yeah, the sounds are pretty loud. I probably should have controlled the volume in that. But anyways, we won't always have to hear that. Hopefully it doesn't scare you too much. So you got a blue key. So now you can go ahead and you notice every time you're seeing an object, there is a sprite appearing for it. Some of these are just actually graphical characters and some of them are sprites. And this one is actually a sprite, I do believe so. Okay, so now if you go back to inventory, you'll see you have the special watch and the blue key there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here, we're going to be heading out to the car. Whoops. I just actually knocked my solution out of it. I'm going to go over here and head back to the car. Hope this thing loads fast enough. So, oh, actually I went the wrong way. So if you go north, you're in the courtroom. If you go west here, you'll see there's a jail cell here, which is your destination to put the Mad Bomber in jail there. So we'll go back to where the squad cars are. Now you can look at, remember, you can look at stuff. So if you look at button, for example, it says emergency exit on it. Kind of silly. I could have probably made something else, but the whole idea is this button is some kind of significance to get beyond this room, basically. So you look at the cars. Not sure if that one's built in. Yeah, I left a lot of I don't understand in to kind of throw confusion a little bit to people. So what you're going to basically do, what would you do if you walked up to a car? Of course, if you're a police officer, you don't have to sit there. I could have probably made it insert keys and do all that, but I didn't want to make it super long. Basically, you just enter the car. Oh, actually, that's right. We can't get in the cars. Okay, that made it a little bit. I went a little bit further than I thought I did with this. There's some keys you got to find before you can get in the car. Excuse me there. See, even I've forgotten how to play it already. So let me just get back here with the solution. And okay, so the blue key, okay, that's what it is. Let's go back here. And we'll go back to the headquarters. And remember, we've got the blue key. So the blue key is going to open up something. We could try open up desk. Oops. Remember, the desk had a green drawer on it. So what would we do? We're going to open up that cabinet. I think I'm going to grab the volume here because it's going to be very loud. I kind of turn it up and down as the sound comes through. Still kind of loud, huh? Okay. So we see car keys. Now we can obviously put two and two together. We got a pair of car keys. Now we should be able to get into our car. We're inside a car. Notice that it now says the exits you can go. It's just a question mark. This was probably some of the bigger mysteries and probably the reason why they wanted the solution, as I made it a little bit harder probably than I should have. But you're basically in a car right now. You can kind of look around. You can get stuff as you look around in here. I don't want to give too much away, but if you look at, like, for example, the dashboard, you see the glove compartment on it. Okay, so we're in a car right now. What we're going to do, we're going to start the car. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. No, we don't want to start the car yet. But that's how you start the car anyways. We'll just park the car. That's how you get it back out of it. And then we're going to leave the car. Oh, excuse me. So when you park the car, it already leaves the car. Forget about that. So going back here to the desk is we're going to basically open up the cabinet. No, I'm sorry, we already did it. So let me go back here. See, I'm forgetting where that key was at. Let me just take a look here a second. So it's right there in front of me. So let's go back into the car. Into the car. And now we're going to open up that glove compartment. Okay, there's a green key. So I won't go through the whole game because I know it's going to probably take a lot of time to go through this. I know you probably want to see some of the code, but I just wanted to kind of show you. We'll get it going in the car and get moving around a little bit. Okay, so we got the key and everything. Now we can leave the car. Make a little note to myself here too. Okay, so next we can, we've already got everything we need now, I'm pretty sure. special watch, blue key, green key. Oh, we can go back, now we got the green key, we can go back to the headquarters, and then we can open up the desk. Now you can see we've got some more objects appearing. Now you've already used the green key, so you can go here and you can drop the green key. And you see it appears there, and you can also drop the blue key, because you already used them. And you see the other objects. These ones are actually not surprised. I think these are the special characters I used, the redefined characters. So anyways, if you type get plate, oops, typed it in wrong. It'll pick up the plate, and then the bullet vest. Because you're going to have to protect yourself from the Mad Bomber later, because he has a gun and he starts shooting at you and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to show this to somebody who got stuck in the elevator before. I know you read the solution, but this is actually really funny. If you enter the elevator, you can get stuck in here if you don't know how to get out. And this is actually toward the end of the game. You want to get this red key, which is used to open up the jail cell. I believe that's it. But you notice there's no exit, so if you try to leave, like leave the elevator, because I already have leave in there, it just says I don't understand. I tried stuff like open elevator. You could spend a lot of time in this elevator. I had no idea how complicated it was. Really, what it required you to do is remember the room you were in before, and you enter the hall. And you're back out. So, next we're going to enter the car, once again. We're going to look at the seat. It's a little bit early, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. I'm going to get that scary sound again. And there's our badge. So we're going to use it for identification. And then now we can start the car again. Now, vroom, you can see the car started. Now, the thing is, we're trapped inside, so we can't go north, can't drive through the police station. So what's that button all about? Let's press it. Well, all sides open, revealing the outside. Watch this. Now you see a new exit appear here. So now you're free to move around. Now you're driving. You try to go west again. You can't. Well, eventually you'll get to sections and you can't drive through like buildings and stuff like that. I try to make it very realistic, so as soon as you come upon like a site, you have to park the car each time, because it'll say messages if you try to. So I'm going to go up here. Told me to arrive at something. I think I made that pretty high. If you try to look at the sign, there's nothing important there. You're near an airport now. If you try to go east here, and try to keep going east, can't do that yet. So I didn't make it very obvious, but what you have to do is you have to park the car. Because you're at a gate of the airport, imagine. You can't drive through the building, you have to park the car. But I guess I could have made it a little bit more easier to understand. Now, if you try to go south again, too far to walk, you got to get back in the car if you want to drive back down the street again there. So, you're near the airport, you see the plane runway at the gate of the airport. So this was the days before I even flew, so this is probably going to seem a little silly. But you go north, you're walking near an airplane, and you try to go north. A man says you must have correct authorization to pass. You would think you're kind of like, you're an undercover cop, so it's not like you're walking around in a police uniform or anything. You're just searching around this city for this mad bomber, so you gotta try to talk to the man. This is the kind of stuff you might have done in like a text adventure. You can't do that. So what you want to do is you want to show him the badge. Oh, I'm sorry. No, show him the plate identification. The badge is for something else. So it's your identification of who you are. So now he knows who you are. I didn't throw any clues in here, but if you go north, you can now go to the next area. So now you're actually in the airplane. You see a flight attendant. There's a door in the back, so there's not a whole lot of room to walk around. I tried to make it like if you're walking in an airplane. Really, there's only a few sections you can go into in an airplane. So like basically you're walking inside the front of the plane, in an airplane. So basically where the passenger seats are and all that. And the whole idea is to get into the back here. So if you open up the door and stuff like that, you won't be able to do anything. This is where I threw in those loops and those tricks. So I'm going to bring the volume back down here a little bit so I don't scare people with the sound again. So what you want to do, if I remember, you get to push the door. Aha, what happened here? Okay, there's no sound. I had to scare myself with any crazy sounds that time. I put sound in it, otherwise it would have been very empty and very dull without any, sound effects. So now you see a storage box. If you try to look at the box, can't really do much with it. So I'm gonna end the game here almost and show you something funny. So if you wait too long and you try to you'll see what's inside of here. Let's see if I can get this open. So I think you have to slide the box, so I remember. Let's see, move the box, slide the box. You're looking at a box. We tried moving, we tried sliding. Did we try open? It's nailed shut with strong nails. What type of box is this? So I'm gonna go over here and peek at my solution. Guess it would have been better if I had stuck it there and you could see step by step where I'm getting all this. Just go and do this. There's the hallway. Oh, actually, this is for you find an apartment later, and that's where the Mad Bomber is hiding at. But there's some tricks to get to him later. If you read the solution, I won't give it all away, because that's the whole idea of text of interest anyway. Rough road. So at the work site, and it's right here. It is in cargo storage room. So inside this storage room, it says you enter the door, you push the door. So we've gotten through that. There's a storage box there. So what are you supposed to do? Actually, I didn't do push, did I? Push. You push it. That crazy sound again, huh? Okay. Time bomb. Let's get the time bomb. Probably not a good idea, right? Oh, we got too much. We need to drop some things here. Let's see what we got. At this point, you don't want to drop your car keys because you just have to get back into the car. The badge you're going to need. You probably wouldn't want to drop the plate here, so I'll show you what you have to do here. I'm going to leave this as it is right now. We'll come right back to it. This is another trick to the game, by the way. You won't get very far if you don't know this one. If you don't want to see this, you can pause this or skip over this. This is basically going to show you how to carry objects around with you, more objects than you think you can. So you enter the car, and you basically drop stuff. You'll be able to pick it up every time in this car. It'll always come back and it'll always be there for you. Don't drop your car keys in here, because I think you lock yourself out of the car. I think that ends the game. Okay, we'll leave the car. The man doesn't ask you unless you leave the area for identification again, so we can go back here again and push the door. Gotta kind of repeat the same steps. I should have probably just opened up an exit there, but I didn't. Push the door. Okay, and there's the time bomb. Now we can get it. Now we can look at it. And there's clues in the game later that you see a small pin sticking out of it. So I'm going to end it right now and pull the pin and have some fun here. Oh, or take pin? Is it? You make a quick attempt to remove the pin and time bomb exploded in your face. Ooh. So I wanted just to kind of show you the crazy ending I made there. I think I made a couple of different endings to it. It's kind of rude. So basically the whole idea is to save as you're going along on your journey, because obviously we have to start completely over now. But I just wanted to show you guys so we can finally get to the code and stuff here. So I'm going to break out. As I made lines, I think I might have jumped around a little bit. I started at 100. But essentially, and what you can do is this on, I learned this on the device, you can actually sit there and you can hold the Alt key and it pauses. I probably should have done this as I was going through it. Kind of pause it and see it. See, it has a green drawer on it. We saw that earlier. The bars are painted red. So that gives you kind of, remember the red key? That's basically telling you can open up the cell if you have the red key to kind of give that part away to you. Now there are pictures also of the Mad Bomber and other objects that you come across later in the game. There's a store in the game. You enter a store. probably some silly thing objects you can find in the store that you can use for the game, so I probably should have thought that out better. These are the movements, what I mentioned about, you can use these to increment through an actual, it's incrementing through like commands for a string. For example, this is saying if you're typing in the letter N, we're going to set J equal to 1, and we're going to actually minus 13. I don't know what this 1325, these are probably pointing to different sections in the movements or something. I think those were directions if I remember. Like going up negative 13, going positives or something like that. But anyways, this goes negative 13, negative 25, negative 37, negative 49, negative 61. So these are basically setting in this value whatever you're equal to. So if you're equal, for example, here to W, then I believe this one is the 37. So that's how you kind of set those controls. And this is where I was talking about earlier, where I really started pushing myself. These are things I've never really tried before. This was all new techniques and books I was reading through, and just things I was learning to try to really master BASIC, if you would. By the time I set this game, my next adventure was to create a full machine language game, and that's when I finally created that Spaced Out Adventure. And I was planning to send that as a submission to Lodestar, but unfortunately by that time they had went belly up and it was too late for me. And then I just entered the real world, and life just kind of moved on from there. And to say they bellied up at this time, they didn't belly up when I actually wrote this code. They bellied up much later because the Commodore 64 was already being dominated by other computers like the IBM and Apple and stuff like that. They lasted a lot longer, and I'll give them credit for how long. They actually ended up moving a lot of their subscriptions to the IBM, but they stopped eventually making the discs for the Commodore 64. So by the time I finished my game, which was probably around 1994 or so, not finished it, but I was already working on it, I noticed it was kind of too late at that time to send it out. And that's basically why I surrendered defeat. I don't want to do that anymore, as I mentioned many times now. I really want to build a demo from start to beginning and maybe a game from start to finish. But here's some, just going through some of the screens here, trying to see if there's anything else I could tell you about it. It's pretty complex if you look at it. Fortunately, one of the things that they wrote in the letter is, or actually they conversations I had with Lodestar on the phone to Jeff Jones was the code's pretty complex. It's hard to read it, and people can't figure it out. Fortunately, my destination was to try to create it so complex that nobody could crack it. I was my little way of hacking and hiding my secrets inside of this little game. Okay, so I'm going to just pause here for a second. Okay, so I wanted to show you that this is the screen I was talking about earlier. This is one I was trying to submit for the title screen. So like I said, this is all got a raster going on here, and these are animated characters. So this one kind of moves backward, this moves over this way, and they kind of shift backward and forward. That was one of the title screens I created. And then some of the other stuff I came up with was this title. I was going to use this originally. And I think I forgot to put this on the submission. I really wanted to do this one, but I never did. And then we'll come back to that in a second. This is one I really was trying to get out while they still had my submission, and I was trying to get it to them, but they had already published the disc and it was too late to upload it. And I worked, kind of hard on this one to try to make it look like it's supposed to be the apartment that you enter where the Mad Bomber's hiding at and stuff like that. But ran out of time to do that and wasn't able to get that implemented. Here's the game screens. You see that one. Here's another thing I was going to do is I was going to add like basically a visualization of the rooms as you come across them and they appear in this section. And here, these are all the actual characters for the game. These are not the sprites, but these are the actual characters. Like there's a rope, flashlight, stuff you can find later in the game. And this is a picture of Mad Bomb, even though you can't see him right there. Here's the failure screen you get whenever you fail the game. Here's that demo I was talking about before. This is actually an animated city, and it's got like the water flowing. You can see the water moving, and Basically, like planes kind of move and cars move on the road and stuff like that. It wasn't the greatest demo. I spent a lot of time on it, but it really wasn't the greatest. And going back here, this is the machine language routine I wrote for the actual game. This was the screen that you saw that appeared on the top of the screen and everything. Right here, let me see. It's right here, Mad RT, this one, Mad Routine. So if I open this up a little bit, you can scroll these windows. And this is the actual code I wrote on the Commodore 64 for the machine language routine for Mad Bomber. You can check it out at programmermind.com. And the C64 basic machine language section. There's the actual code for it. It's actually quite longer than I thought it was. It draws the screen, so there's a lot of drawing going on in here. And there's the import command routine I created to eliminate that import command, or checks the keyboard. And this draws a city picture on the bottom of the screen that you saw. So if you want to get there, just go to the website real quickly here. Try not to make this video much longer than 40 minutes. And you just go to the home page here. Since I've got all the screenshots in here now, you can kind of scroll down through here from the top, and you'll see it down here underneath this. In these sections right here, you can click on these individually. The machine language routine's right here if you want to go right to it. And just click the M section here, and you'll see it right there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, favorite, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I really appreciate that. Really, my dream would be to try to, do this full time. But, whatever it becomes, I've just learned to try to accept that for what it is and just continue working where I work for now. But yeah, I really enjoyed putting this video together. There'll be more videos coming for, obviously, the basic, very basic. I have to get on that this week, so I still got to write the section for that, so I can basically organize my thought pattern on that. And then we'll get the other ones out, the reverse engineering, and eventually that machine language demo, and hopefully the game. And once we get this team assembled, I'm really, really looking forward to that. So thank you guys so much. Without you guys, I would be nothing. You guys are awesome. Take care.